Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Tower of God Chapter 598 or Season 3 Episode 181. Got a few things to remember before I get into reading, but I'm very excited. Sorry if I'm a little damp still, I just got out of the shower, went directly to recording. But a few things that I need to remember. 2 more weeks until the Chapter 600 screen time video. I'm just so extremely excited for that project. I cannot wait. And it's something that, I'm maybe trying to temper my expectations a little bit because I'm like, okay, maybe the changes aren't going to be as dramatic as I'm expecting, but I'm just so excited to do that. In addition to that, I really wanted to shout out a comment that I got over this past week that I feel taught me something new. So shout out to X-Istido or X-Istido, however you want to pronounce it. Shout out to them, because they said that they think the red thing at the beginning of Season 2 that protects Bomb when he gets hit by Wangnan's bombs was probably the blue Thrissa because of the talk about devils that I had before, where I was like, oh yeah, one thing that Bomb has in him is the devil to ignite the thorn, and he's kind of hiding in there like Black March because we barely see him. And I think I may have been wrong. All this time, I was assuming we didn't know where the blue Thrissa came from. I was thinking the blue Thrissa could be something from the outside, something that the outside god put into Bomb during the resurrection of him or whatever. But now I think I was totally wrong. So to go through the timeline very, very quickly so we can get into reading the chapter, the first time that we really hear about it is we get Hwoarang's backstory, and then right after Hwoarang's backstory, Bomb goes to meet with him, and Bomb's like, when I heard your backstory, I thought the same thing must have happened to me. When I first joined FUG, they put me in this water tank. They had been keeping something they found on the floor of tests, on the second floor. Bomb says that he saw a bright red light, and then he passed out, and when he came to, he could feel something inside of him. He asked FUG about it, but FUG wouldn't tell him what it was, and that is the devil to ignite the thorn, turning him into a living ignition weapon, which is what allows him to, actually ignite the thorn. So, all this time, I thought that was a separate thing, and the blue Thrissa must have been something that was always there or whatever, because it's a red light, and then the blue Thrissa, they're not the same thing. But then, Existido came in and said, when the blue Thrissa first talks to Bomb, when Rachel pushes Bomb off of the platform on, on Revolution Road, when Rachel pushes Bomb off the platform at the Hell Train, and he first hears the blue Thrissa, it's a red orb. They're correct. They're right. It is a red orb. It's red. So for some reason, the blue Thrissa went from red to blue. And again, we in the fan base for a while just called it the blue demon or whatever, until CU himself started calling it the blue Thrissa. So CU is confirming that it is a Thrissa. So if the red orb that Bomb gets when, he got the red orb when the thorn started going out of control, so it is the devil to ignite the thorn that he got in him from FUG, that leaves us with more questions. Where'd the blue Thrissa come from then? Because the red Thrissa was found by Yurik and given to Heljo with the Floor of Death, right? So where'd the blue Thrissa come from then? Where did FUG get it and put it on the second floor to keep it there waiting for Bomb? That's a mystery now. So yeah, I learned something new. I was mistaken. I don't think the devil to ignite the thorn and the blue Thrissa are two separate things anymore. I think the blue Thrissa is the devil to ignite the thorn that Bomb had placed within him. Because, wow, that's just so weird to think about. Because it really recontextualizes what I thought about the thorn and what I thought about the blue Thrissa and where it might have come from. Now the mystery of where it came from is an entirely new mystery. So I just wanted to bring that up. Because I think that's big. I think that's big, actually. The blue Thrissa was actually red and now is blue. And where did it come from? So, all of that aside, I just wanted to throw all that out there. I think that's it. Oh, the only last thing I wanted to bring up is last chapter was incredible with all of the references to things in Season 1 and early Season 2, which is something that we started seeing in the mid to late Nest coming back a lot more. And for a while there, it felt like one of those things where CU changes the Yama backstory from the lore. Some of the things that happen in late Season 2, early Season 3, people are like, okay, do we disregard some of the stuff in Older Tower? In Older Tower of God is not mattering anymore. Has this stuff run its course and it's not going to be that important anymore? and this is just what Tower of God is now. It's changed, and I think that we've just been seeing more and more that that's not true. A lot of this stuff that has been planned out since the beginning, or at least there's been a little bit of ideas there from the beginning, is coming into play, and it does matter. And I think that's very, very cool. And also, like, when I was watching Amy Angel's reaction stream, I think it was maybe the one before last, Dr. Bonehead said something about like, oh, I watch Haku's reactions, and I'm like, wow, he's saying the same exact things as me. And I think the same things when I watch his video. Like, I usually record this at 9 o'clock, and while I'm getting this posted, I will listen to the VOD from his stream. And while I was listening last week, every time he was saying something, I'd be like, wow, that's what I said. Wow, that's what I said. And then the thing that killed me was when I got to Chopin. I was like, in the year of our Lord 2024, and the second that he gets to Chopin, he says, in 2024, and like, just the sync on that killed me. But yeah, that's just generally intro talking about Tower of God stuff. I usually do like my Tower of God update at the beginning of my reactions at this point, I guess. But either way, let's get into reading. Also, I kind of forgot to mention that I'm excited about the Yurik stuff because we don't know who is with Yurik. I'm thinking Yuji, because Yurik and Yuji are kind of always together. So I'm thinking Yuji, because it sounds like their relationship too, the way they went back and forth. But it could still be Byakuryun, and if it is, and we get into Byakuryun, we get more into the relationship they have with Yurik, that'd be really, really, really cool too. But I'm thinking Yuji. But either way, wanted to bring up that little prediction there too. But either way, this episode contains depictions of violence that may be upsetting for some readers, and what an unreliable warning those always are. So we're starting off where we ended out last time with Traumare warping in. And the ship looks pretty messed up, so I don't know if it'll even still move. Is that Lopobia Traumare? We have to fight the boss right from the start. There are a lot of really great panels in the past, like, I was gonna say past few chapters, but again, it's been since like mid to late Ness that there have been such really great artwork that, like, I love this panel. I like a lot of these shots we had last week too. This is so unfair. Like, I say it a lot lately. I feel like in the past 50 chapters, I have so often said that, wow, this might actually legitimately be one of the best chapters of Tower of God. But last chapter, I really genuinely think it might have been one of the best. Last chapter was so good. Season 3, the unauthorized one, probably referring to Bomb given last chapter. Okay, and it's not the unauthorized one, unless this is a translation error, and it should be the unauthorized one. So, you know, you never know with line. And we have this looming presence. We have to fight the boss right from the start. This is so unfair. Hey, what should we do? This is a nightmare, and we have... I love this panel. Just Gorodo just freaking out here. That's hilarious. Isn't it obvious? We'll pretend to be somebody else until we find a chance to sneak away. What's going on? Who does that floating carrier belong to? I believe it's one of Lopobia's floating ships. What are they doing here? Attack, and all the Pobadao ships presumably are rushing in. Now's our chance, let's go. We'll escape to the entrance while Pobadao's forces are attacking him. And yeah, the ship does not look like it's going to be moving. I have a shocked look on his face. Why did this have to malfunction now of all times? And the thing is, the group chat, Revolution, they were really, really specific about how many people he should bring and stuff. So since they were so specific, you gotta think they have a plan for this. We have a creature coming in. Is this the giant crocodile that we saw before, maybe? That, what was it? Was it Noobles that the crocodile swallowed? And then he crashes through these ships that are attacking. Just one-shotting an entire fleet, basically, leaving the group in awe. I can't believe how powerful he is. I know you're on board the ship. Come out, irregular. Alright. Lord Dumas, there's an intruder over by the entrance. Okay, we have Dumas, who was also sent to go fetch Bomb. I've been told it's one of Lopobia's floating ships, and this is a really interesting thing. So Dumas is apparently the number 3 in the Popodout family. Whether or not that's including Gastang is questionable, but I would say it probably is including Gastang. I think it's including Gastang as one, and there's only one person between Dumas and Gastang. So it makes it interesting to think. The equivalent, I guess, would be, I think Lobadan is pretty clearly the number 3 of the Lopobia. So it makes you question, how big is that gap? Because even though a character can be an irregular, and even though irregulars are basically cheating the system, we know that in combat, Malik 1 PGR fought against Zahard. We know that there are people like REA Hagafarion who fought against REA Hone for a certain amount of time and passed his test. There are also characters like Luzlek, who's ranked above some of the family heads, by Akriun, who's ranked above some of the family heads, and a big part of that is their influence. But I've always said with rankings, influence can only amount to so much. Like, there's only so much influence you can have compared to people who could just show up and wipe you out. So there are people who are very strong who aren't irregulars. So this makes me question the gap. What is the gap between somebody like Lobadan and Traumaray? What's the gap between Dumas and Traumaray? As somebody who's, you know, the child of an irregular, even if they don't have a second irregular as a parent, they're half irregular. They're already born with longer lifespans and stronger power than regular tower inhabitants. They're already born with innate contracts. So as a member of a 10 great family, especially one of the direct descendants, somebody that's super, super powerful, how big is that gap? And if we see Dumas and Traumaray interact, we might get to see a little bit. We might get to see a little glimpse of what that gap looks like. I've been told it's one of Lopobia's floating ships. I see. Don't send any other troops after it. I'll handle this myself. Alright, and that looks like the Shinwan Ryu warping again. It looks like I can't convince him to come out. In that case, destroy the ship. Okay, and we have the gator thing going towards the puffer ship. Oh, and it actually does activate enough to move out of the way. They were able to dodge. Jeez, eek, and they're just like doing these short dodges out of the way as it's stomping at them. It ends up slamming into it, and all of them escape. Run! We have to make it to the entrance, and Bong Bong activates. Okay, somebody with this blue, it looks like somebody's going in toward the top. Or something's coming at the eye. Oh, it actually gets stabbed in the eye. Okay. Is this maybe Bomb trying to take its eyes out or something? Or is that fire from the ships, maybe? Okay, they're making it towards the gate. I guess it wasn't Bomb that did it, so it must have been fire from the ships coming in. Bomb makes it to the gate, but again, Traumaray can literally just follow. Oh, never mind. This is him with the shots wrapping around. I thought that was him warping. I thought that was Traumaray just literally just following Bomb. But it's been too long, Lord Traumaray. So he is meeting up with Dumas. I'm Dumas. And again, this is really cool. We saw before when Traumaray interacted with Jin Sung that, again, this is one of the close people he climbed the tower with, one of their, like, presumably direct children. Like, we could maybe, unless he's a creature created by riding, but it seems like that was only Richemont and Michel who were created by riding, then, also, this is going to drift into some weird territory. I'm just warning you before I say it, but Gaston. So I talked before, I'm like, FUG is probably the most attractive of the factions in Tower of God. Something that I've been thinking for a few weeks now, because we know that the descriptions we get from the blog posts, from the lore, are that Eurasia Blossom is a lolly type character, visually. And we also see characters like Dumas, we see characters like Proust. There are probably some other good examples here, but it just makes me think Gaston has some odd choices, given given Proust existing and Eurasia inexisting, Gastong is both a lolicon and a furry. So Gastong might be one of the most out there family heads. I just had to bring... And then, again, whatever Dumas's mother looked like, I'm sure she was a wonderful woman. Gastong must have had some interesting interests to end up with Dumas as a child. We have, I'm Dumas of the Popodal family. That's just something I've been thinking for the past few weeks as we've just seen more and more and more and more Popodals. I'm like, the Popodals really are an interesting bunch. Even more, like design-wise, the Lopobia are mostly just people with green hair. So, like, Traumeré is just a guy with green hair. So it's like, they are less out there, for the most part, than Gastong's children. But either way, forgive me, but I have orders from my family head to take the irregular with me. Dumas. I don't have time to deal with you pathetic creatures. And we have Bob. I love Bob's group. The pose is just running. Alright, and we have the Hairtail Fandor harps coming out. And then I wonder if he'll ignite the carrier again. But no, he's slicing through them. Honestly, this is extremely impressive. Have we seen characters really dealing with the Fandor harp like this? Because the Fandor harp actually was doing work against Yasracha and Yama, I think. And then he's actually slicing through it like this. And this is Vanquish, right? Being summoned? He's pulling a spear out from the carrier, it seems. Gosh, Dumas actually is kinda him. This is a really cool spear as well. Imagine Dumas takes out Vanquish. I'm saying imagine as if it's not happening right here in front of me. This is insane compared to Yama and Yasracha fighting Traumeré, where we had that amazing scene where they're fighting, and Traumeré is still just kind of stood there while they're fighting, or sat there even, while they're fighting against his creatures, and we have this shot of Yama where he's like, why does it feel like I'm getting further away? Meanwhile, Dumas is legitimately putting in work against a family head here. He glances over. It's poison. Alright. That thing looks like a gateway, but is it safe to just pass through like this? I don't know, just keep running. It's better than facing Traumeré at least. Again, good point. There he is. There was another scene like that at some point, because I remember reacting to it, where they were like, oh, should we be doing this? And I'm like, it's better than fighting a family head. But this is, again, that same situation where they're like, oh, is this safe? It's like, it's this or fight a family head, so it has to be. There he is, and he just continues to warp towards them. So I guess he just left the poison to deal with Dumas. Stop wasting my time and come with me. And then we have a bunch of apes. Crap. And the apes start getting slashed apart. Oh, yeah, Tiara, of course. It's been so long since we've seen her use this ability. It looks so cool. The, what is it, high density Shinsu? And again, the artists are big fans of Tiara. That woman is brutal. There are more coming. And the dinosaurs? Is that a Deinonychus coming in? Are we doing killing bites here? Oh my god. That is such a cool panel of Dumas. Dumas is actually him. We have the slam. Lord Dumas. Oh, and his arms came off. Or because of the poison, I guess, presumably. Holy crap. Dumas is so cool, actually. I know he did a lot of cool stuff when we first got introduced, but wow, this is impressive. Tiara, the family head ordered me to bring the irregular to him. Give him to me. Orders or not, I can't do that. I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on him, and we're technically partners at the moment. What is there to discuss? Neither of you... Again, Traumeré's literally right here. What is there to discuss? Neither of you's taking him with you anyway. Don't waste your energy. And he summons a bunch of other creatures. I have no intention of letting anyone else take the irregular. I thought one of the parts of the contract was that the family heads couldn't take the irregular, though. I thought it had to be members of their family to do it. Sorry, hiccup. He's so obsessed, especially for someone who has it all. Hey, all we need to do is get through that gateway. On the count of 3, fire your most powerful attack and make a run for the gateway. 1, 2... Oh, and we're seeing his inventory. We have Gordo pulling something out. 3. You're all so early. I can't believe what good little students you are. Whose observer is that? That is interesting. Whose is that? You're very different from me. I was always late as a student. It does irritate me somewhat. Okay, but congratulations on making it this far, although you've only reached the entrance. Who is that? And even Chaumare's looking over. I imagine you're all curious to know who I am, so allow me to introduce myself. I'm in charge of Pobedal's forces in this war. Oh my god, okay, I was trying to guess whose it was from the design. The squiggly line, like the line on his forehead, it is Belarir's. Wow, my name is Pobedal Belarir. I would now like to tell you all, Second in Command Belarir thinks, Tiara, how to reach the arena. Somewhere at a distance from the arena, FUG's floating carrier. Again, there should be some sort of space or something there. Garnak, get away from the floating ship and do not attack. Yes, Lord Grace. And he leaps back. Or they leap back. I'll just stick with they for now. I think Garnak's probably a guy, but you know, I can play it safe. Just as I expected from the tower's official hyenas. You people never miss the smell of blood. But if you keep getting in my way like this, you might end up as dead bodies yourselves before you get the chance to eat one. Yurik, Mazano. And then, get back, Butterfly. That's not the kind of guy you want to get mixed up with. This is my second time seeing you up close like this, Yurik Mazano. And we have, this is again a really cool shot of Luzlek. And I like the way that Luzlek's outfit here looks really similar to a lot of the other FUG outfits we've seen. Both like the V and Arlen style, but also similar to Karaka's robes, especially in early Tower of God, to like Bomb's workshop battle robes. You got White's clothing. Hey, old man. I didn't expect to see you lurking around here. I actually wanted to have a little chat with you about those babes. You sure are good at hiding. It's almost impossible to find you. I wasn't really trying to hide. But I don't see how this concerns you. Why don't you mind your own business? Says the guy who's so scared of the 10 great family heads that he's too afraid to settle down anywhere. What are those babes to you anyway? You have no right to raise children. I'm sure you didn't come all this way to exchange silly jokes, and for your information, we're a lot more settled than you are. Again, this is interesting. His I came from the darkness, his statement here that we're more settled than you are, it makes it seem like FUG does have some hidden base somewhere, whether it's the snow forest that we saw before or somewhere else. Because, again, Luzlek would know that the 77th floor is basically Wall Hike Song territory. They pretty much just have the place. So if he's saying that FUG's more settled than them, like, FUG has some secrets going on that even we don't know about yet. And also I like, too, that Mazano has been looking to talk to him probably ever since he met Bomb, because of Bomb being, you know, jovial Grace and everything, and his connection with FUG. So interesting. What are you doing here, Yurik? I thought you agreed not to get involved with anything that happens inside the tower. Why don't you just look for a way out of the tower like usual? Well, I know that's what I said before, but I had a little change of heart. The truth is, I'm against this fight. I don't want any of the 10 family heads to die yet. I see. Maybe he doesn't want them to die before there is the option of leaving. Because much like Bomb learned back at the hotel arc, the irregulars are kind of almost trapped here, which is something that, again, Yurik probably already realizes, part of the reason he's looking for a way out. And maybe Yurik wants, maybe his thoughts are deeper than just finding a way out for himself. Maybe he wants to provide a way out for anyone who wants a way out. I mean, hence the rest of Wall Hikesong working with him. And if so, he might not want the 10 family heads to die before they have the opportunity to escape rather than die. I see. If that's why you came here, then you'll need my permission to pass. And was like very confident here, smiling during all of this. You're kidding, right? Since when have I ever needed anyone's permission to do anything? And this is insane. This is quite literally a bigger deal than Traumeré versus Gaston. Because I'm pretty sure Gaston is rank 14, and Traumeré we don't even know his rank, so he's not even in the top 15 or even 20 maybe, compared to Luzlek, I believe, is at 15, so only just below Gaston. And then, of course, Mazano at, what's he, 4? So this is like 2 higher ranked guys than the face-off between the family heads. So this is like even bigger than the family heads. To me, at least. That's so cool. What an incredible chapter once again. Again, Tower of God has just been amazing lately. I say lately, it's been for so long. For years, Tower of God's just, CU's been cooking. It's been good. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this whole reaction and everything. Hold on, let me do like usual, show the credits here while I'm talking. I really loved that. Again, it's hard. I talk a lot, as you watching this reaction are very well aware of, having watched it. I talk a lot while I'm reacting, so once I get to the end, it's like I've kind of talked about what I wanted to talk about. But again, I'm sure more things will be brought up. I'll talk about it with you all in the comments. I'll talk about it with everybody, you know, on the comments, on Twitter, Discord, all of that. And then next week, I'll have my usual long intro. But either way, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your support. Like if you did like the video, comment on there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, my first thoughts and reaction to it. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. Again, follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, ask and I'll give you a link to it. We can talk on any of those places. If you would like to help support the channel, you can drop a super thanks down below if you'd like to, or if you'd like a shout out at the end of every video, if you'd like One Piece videos a bit early, you can hit join down below. You can become a channel member. You can go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. And yeah, super huge thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly. Thank you to Magical Girls Efronono and Smeller Dog. Thank you to Cherryton Student David Langstaff. Thank you to Slayer Candidates SG and Stan Cedar. And thank you to Pure Element Pate Ardial. I'm going to end this video now because my mouth is really dry. My voice is kind of failing because of it. I need to get this video up for you all. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.